start now, it won't be now. And if you start us too late, I then be good. It's the most magnificent MC to mumble, wrecking balls through your walls to watch you crumble. I'm confident and humble, I just speak what I read. There's so much green around my flow, you swear my mouth was a creek. Yes, I am unique, I'm an orca with feet. I move right with the sharks in the sea of concrete. See, I'm an oddity, street nerd, I study the street. A geek from the concrete where there was nothing to eat. Now I munch rappers for lunch, they stew in my belly. And when I go to the toilet, I should have penny. See, I'm a titan, a monster in the ocean.
What is up, Facebook? It's another episode of Unedited, brought to you today by the wonderful coffee of Wawa here in Fredericksburg, Virginia. That was someone I went to high school with, Da Shade Moonbeam, with the most magnificent, just had a birthday yesterday, so happy birthday, brother. Try to put you on, like you're not already on. You look good. So today we're going to get into the next episode, which is episode 4, and we're going to talk about something somebody gave us, something that somebody gave me earlier in the day, and I'm off today, so I'm like, I'm on it, about being selfish. So being selfish in relationships, being selfish in work, being selfish in your own family, being selfish with your time, being selfish with your feelings, being selfish with your work ethic. Okay, so let's hop on the first one first. So being selfish in your relationship. So a lot of couples have this issue that when they get together or married, let's say married, they become one entity. Everything that you have is now theirs, and everything that you have or that they have is yours, and you kind of coexist in this circle of trust and love and connection. So being selfish shouldn't play a part in the relationship. So when I think about that, I think about being selfish with your money and not being able to be on the same page financially, right? Not being on the page, not even financially, but like not even being on the same page as far as emotionally. So let's get financially out of the way. So being on the page financially basically means that you have to be together in order to progress. So if you started at a penny, you want to try to get to 20 million pennies. Does that make sense? So basically what I'm saying is in order to progress, you can't be selfish and spend a bunch of money when you're trying to save. Okay? I've had this issue, right? So my wife and I are trying to get out of debt, and one of the things that we're trying to do is we're trying to spend less money on stuff that we don't need. But because I can sometimes be very selfish, I can only think about my needs and my wants, and I'm still working on that. So if I want to get some coffee in the morning, which is delivered to you by Wawa, I can't actually get the coffee that morning without thinking that maybe this $5 might end up destroying something down the road. Now you say it's $5, but $5 a day adds up. That's $35. $35 stacks up to $70. $70 is $100. You see where I'm going with that? So financially, being selfish on either side of the board does not help you progress, right? So now, being selfish in your relationship with your feelings. Nobody's going to know what's wrong with you if you refuse to share what it is that's bothering you. For instance, you can't come in the house, slam your keys on the table and say, and your significant other says, "What's wrong?" and you go, "Nothing." In order to connect on a higher level and and this is just my opinion, so no, I'm not a doctor. I've just been through a lot of messed up relationships, and I'm working on the best one that I've had right now. But you have to be able to communicate what you're feeling. So what we do in my house is, if we both get off at the same time, we get in the house and we spend maybe 20 or 25 minutes talking about what's happened at work and how we feel about it. And then after that, we talk about other things. We talk about the kids, because the kids are very important. We talk about things that are on our mind. We do talk about politics quite a bit. We talk about Donald Trump quite a bit, and I'll save that for another episode. But after that, our feelings kind of come out and how we're feeling. Now, we don't always agree, and sometimes when you're sharing those feelings without being selfish, it's better sometimes to agree to disagree. Now, this is probably one of my biggest problems, because I like us to always be on the same page, but you're not always going to be on the same page, but you can still be unselfish with your feelings as long as you say that. Does that make sense? So that's one of the many tentacles that being selfish can get into. So the next thing is being selfish with, at work. You cannot get anywhere in life if you continue to only worry about yourself at work, step on the necks of whoever you can to get to the top, because like they always say, the people that you see on the way up will be the same people that you see on the way down. So you might want to reach back and grab somebody and bring them up with you. That doesn't mean that you have to cover for them. It doesn't mean that you have to do their work for them, but it means not being so selfish that you can only think about what you need, which doesn't help the overall picture of what you're trying to accomplish as a team, especially if you work on a team atmosphere. Now, if you're one of these people that is on the computer and you're just, you're a tech guy or whatever, and there's not anybody else there for you to get with in order to help, that I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about people that have to work on a project in an office, people that work in an inventory in a warehouse. They all have to work together. They all have to be together. And if you have a very good leader will tend to let you look good rather than himself look good. So being selfish with your time means that you want all of the resources, all of the things that can only help you out, when in fact it's not really helping you out. It lowers morale. People can see through it, and it becomes harder for people to work with you or to do things for you when you actually need help. For instance, you may need someone to stay a little bit late, but because you were a little bit selfish with your work ethic, they're probably going to tell you no. And that's their choice. We've talked about this. That's their choice. Not everybody's going to say yes to you. A lot of people are going to say no, and that's okay. But I believe that if you put out positive energy and you put out the effort of being, selfless and unselfish with your time and your work ethic and your feelings, I just think that you'll get a lot more back before you, whatever you put out. I just think that's what happens. And sometimes at work, we get that thing confused as to what it really is to be a part of a team. Yes, a team needs a very good leader, but it needs an unselfish leader in order for that team to progress. Selfish with your time. I think I want to use this for parents. I realize that we're all busy. I'm busy, and we have schedules. In order not to be selfish with your time, sometimes your kids don't need you just to show up to someplace. Sometimes they need you to listen to them and give them advice and things of this nature. Sometimes I see my daughter online right now. Me and her have conversations about things that are going on. And a while back, we decided that we weren't going to talk about all the issues. We were only going to talk about the things that actually matter. So that's what we do. So I do that. But like people say, your hands are not broken, so it goes two ways. But your time, meaning that you're going to have to sometimes have a schedule. I know, it's an evil word, schedule. So my wife and I have decided that we have a schedule. Now there's going to be some games we're going to make. There's going to be some games that we're not going to make. There's going to be some games that we're both going to be there. There's going to be some games and, events that just I'm going to be there and she won't. But we kind of work it all out because the schedule is trying to be unselfish with your time with your kids. Now, if I'm off the weekend, you can bet for sure that I'm going to spend as much time as I possibly can with my wife and my kids because that's what I love to do. So just the overall thought today is just try to be unselfish with your time, with your feelings, with your work ethic, and with your everything, with your everything. Because being unselfish means that you can take more stuff in, and that means you're going to put a lot of more good stuff out, right? So that's what I think is being selfless is part of life and part of one of those things that it takes time to learn, especially in a relationship, especially in a family, especially at work. It takes time to learn all those things. I'm still learning. I'm learning along here just with you. So let's learn together. I'm more encouraged all the time with things, and this is just the episode 4. I'm trying to keep them coming as much as I possibly can, and until I run out of stuff to talk about, I'm still going to probably talk about some of these things. So let's try to every day be selfless. Find some way to be unselfish with your wife or whatever, and maybe you may reach another part of your life just because you did something like that. But anyway, that's episode 4 of Unedited here with your boy Bobby Dotson, or Bobby D, or Red, whatever you want to call me. I prefer Bobby. Miss Dotson, Mr. Dotson, if you're nasty. No, I'm joking. Anyway, Dashay Moonbeam, the album. I need another album, bruh. I need another album, man. When we gonna put out another album? I'm probably gonna say this a couple more times. My son likes your album. I told him he was listening to some rap that wasn't rap, and I know the episode's kind of over, but I just want to put this out here. He was listening to some rap that wasn't rap or hip hop, and I put him on this, and he was like, "Oh, that's dope." So he likes your whole album. He's wondering when you gonna come out with another one. When you come to Fredericksburg to rock down here, so we can get a little bit of the hip hop from Austin. You feel what I'm saying? ATX in the building. Stand up. Anyway. Dashay Moonbeam, hope you see an album soon. So thank you so much for joining me on Unedited, brought to you again by Wawa Coffee. Wawa Coffee is great and good, and sometimes they have it for $1.15. Right now it's only $2.15. I don't know if y'all got Wawas in Texas or wherever you at, or if anybody that's out there that's in the Wawa. I love y'all. I love your coffee. gas is clean, your bathrooms are clean, and I think y'all are great. Your customer service is great, and I love coffee. And as soon as I get off of here, I'm actually gonna go get some Wawa coffee because I now have an allowance. Anyway, I will see y'all next time here on Unedited.